Hello and welcome to Contact Sport. I'm Paul Kennedy. Today I'm joined in the studio by a retiring Olympic champion. James Tomkins turned 45 this week and has decided that he will not row to London. It brings to an end one of international sport's greatest careers.
Our flag bearer is James Tomkins.
Super drew again as they cross the line. Gold for Australia. Fantastic row.
The Aussies, I think, for another goal. If they can hang on for another 100 minutes. Going out of time to take it off. You're brilliant. Half a mile length in front of the United States and also Slovenia. You're brilliant with 5 strokes to go. And within reach of the goal medal. A second in Barcelona. You rippers. The Australians have won. A magnificent effort from the Australians.
And James Tomkins joins me now. I'm sorry to play those highlights. You probably want to come out of retirement now.
Well, it's nice to see them. It's. I think when you're current and you always tend to be looking forward to the next event or the next thing. But when you sort of get towards the end of your career, and that's almost a signal, is when you start reflecting on what's happened in the past.
And you haven't done that much through your career?
No, not really. I think whilst you're in your career, in your sporting career, yeah, it is very much what's next. What's the next thing? Is it to make the team? Is it to get into the World Championships or the Olympic Games or whatever that is? But when you hang it up, it's time to reminisce.
Yeah. Well, you've got plenty of time to do that. Now, I checked the Rowing Australia website. It's got a profile on you. It says that your professional goal was to retire from rowing. So you've officially done everything that you need to do now.
I can give up on life now. So.
How does it feel now that you've made the decision and made the public announcement?
Well, to be honest, it actually feels good. It's and I guess I've always had, since China, I always thought that would probably be my last. But there was always this nagging little bit that possibly I could go on to London, and physically maybe I could have. That might be my ego saying that as well. But so I was always fairly sure that I was going to not go on.
Yep.
But it is nice to actually put a line in the sand. And it was my birthday yesterday, and it's 2 years since China to the day, and 2 years out from London. So it's a good time to do it.
Now, when you're weighing up whether to go to London or not, do you think you could have won a medal? And if you started training now, do you think you could win a medal, or would you have been going for the record to be the only Australian to do 7? Yeah,
well, that's the thing. I think, I don't think I would have not put myself in the best place to get a medal because there's too many compromises. I want to spend time with my family. I'm enjoying work and all that sort of stuff. And I know that, to go to an Olympic Games and try and win a medal, you need absolute singularity in your focus. Yep. And I don't think I would have been able to do that. So therefore it goes back to, you go there just to get a record. And I think that's the wrong motivation entirely. I mean, that's letting down your teammates. I'm going to be in a crew, and if I'm going there, they're all going there to try and win the thing. I'm going there just to make up the numbers and get the tracksuit. Then I'm letting them down and letting myself down.
OK, well, let's reflect now. Let's go back to the start of your career. And there was a chance that you could have pursued a football career. You actually was drafted to Melbourne. So what was the decision early on with your body type and where your best success lay?
Yeah, well, I grew up predominantly in Melbourne and went to school, so I'd row in summer and play footy in winter, and just because of my height and could catch a ball. There was a bit of interest from Hawthorn early on while I was at school, and then I went rowing. But then after the Seoul Olympics, I was always going to take, and I've always taken a bit of time off after each of the Olympic Games, whether go play footy or something or other, just with my mates at Old Brighton or Old Carey or whatever it was. And so that was always the idea after Seoul, and Melbourne got wind of that, so I went down and did a pre-season with them and played OK in the practice matches and ended up being drafted. So that all happened very quickly. And I always said to the club, I said, listen, unless, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back to rowing after a year, unless I'm take Jim Steins's position and on X amount a year and all that sort of stuff.
He played a lot of consecutive games.
He did make it.
Jim Steins. Now, we'll move to the awesome foursome. I want to your coach back then was Noel Donaldson, and he had a couple of words to say about you this week. So we'll go to that now.
I think probably more would have predicted than not that he may have struggled to sort of